Jerusalem is a city where history never truly ends. Every stone tells a story. Every street carries memories. For thousands of years, empires have marched through this city. Romans, Ottomans, British, Arabs, Crusaders, kings and conquerors came and went, yet Jerusalem remained. During my recent 6-day visit to Israel, as a part of a delegation, I traveled through Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and several other cities in this small country. I saw a country constantly preparing for the future, a country building technology, innovation, and security systems. But I also discovered something else, a country constantly speaking about its past. Everywhere I went, history was present, not locked inside textbook, not confined to museums, but alive, visible, and remembered. At first, I wondered why does a nation barely 78 years old place such importance on memory? Why are school children taught names, dates, and stories from centuries ago? Why do Holocaust survivors continue to speak in classrooms? Why are memorials woven into everyday life? The answer came on a hall in Jerusalem, the place called Yad Vashem, the World Holocaust Remembrance Center. When I entered Yad Vashem, I expected to learn about the Holocaust. What I did not expect was to understand Israel itself, because Yad Vashem is not simply about 6 million Jews who were murdered. It is about a civilizational determination to remember and a warning about what happens when a memory fades. Before entering the Holocaust galleries, it is important to understand something about Jewish society. The Holocaust did not happen in isolation. For nearly 2,000 years, Jewish communities lived scattered across continents. They were expelled from kingdoms, driven out of cities, forced into ghettos, denied rights, accused of crimes they never committed. Throughout Europe, anti-Semitism repeatedly erupted in waves. Yet, despite exile and persecution, Jewish communities preserved something remarkable: memory. They remembered Jerusalem. They remembered their scriptures. They remembered their traditions, generation after generation. Parents passed stories to children. Children passed them to grandchildren. Empires disappeared. Kingdoms collapsed. Borders changed. Yet, the memory remained. As an Indian, this stuck me deeply, because Indians also understand the importance of civilizational memory. We remember our epics. We remember our saints. We remember our freedom fighters. We remember Shivaji Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Maharana Pratap. The Jewish people did something similar. They carried memory across centuries. And perhaps that is why what happened during the Holocaust became so devastating. Because it was not merely an attack on people. It was an attempt to erase an entire civilization. Yad Vashem was established in 1953 through an act of Israeli parliament. Its mission is simple yet enormous: to remember, to document, to educate, to ensure that future generations never forget. The architecture itself tells a story. The museum cuts through the mountain like a wound. Dark concrete walls surround visitors, depicting the darkest wounds in the history of Jews. Natural light appears only occasionally. The building feels uncomfortable, and that discomfort is intentional. History here is not designed to entertain. It is designed to confront. As I walked through the galleries, I noticed something remarkable. The museum does not begin with Hitler. It begins with ordinary Jewish life. Families at weddings, children in classrooms, young men playing sports, women celebrating festivals, birthday parties, school photographs are there, moments that felt familiar. Moments that could belong to any family in Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, or anywhere in Bharat. The message is clear. Before they became victims, they were people. People with dreams, people with ambitions, people with futures. And then, slowly, picture after picture, these futures disappeared. One of the most important lessons Yad Vashem teaches is that genocide does not begin with killings, it begins with words. Long before gas chambers, long before concentration camps, long before mass shootings, there were jokes, propaganda, newspaper articles, political speeches, conspiracy theories. Slowly, Jews were transformed into outsiders, then enemies, then threats. The Holocaust reveals something frightening about human societies. Mass murder becomes possible only after people stop seeing others as human beings. Inside the museum, visitors watch this transformation unfold. Rights disappear, businesses are boycotted, children are expelled from schools, citizenship is stripped away, people are forced into ghettos, and eventually deportation begins. Every stage appears small when viewed individually, but together they lead to catastrophe. The lesson is timeless. Civilizations rarely collapse overnight. They erode step by step. Most people associate the Holocaust with Auschwitz, but before Auschwitz became a symbol of Nazi evil, another horror had already begun. In June 1941, Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. Following the advancing German army had a special killing squad. Their mission was brutally simple: find Jews, kill Jews. Men, women, children, entire communities, families were assembled near forests and ravines and open pits, ordered to undress, forced to stand at the edge of mass graves, then shot one by one. There are many testimonies like this. Some witnesses describe hearing gunfire throughout the day. Some survivors remember lying beneath the bodies of the relatives, pretending to be dead. Some victims were buried alive. By the end of 1941, nearly 500,000 Jews have been murdered throughout these mass shootings. Standing before these exhibits, I realized something unsettling. Many Holocaust victims never entered the concentration camps. They died near their homes, near the places where they were together. They had lived their entire lives, killed by people who often knew exactly who they were. Then came the machinery of the death. Operation Reinhard. The name sounds bureaucratic, almost ordinary, yet it represents one of the biggest murder operations in human history. Named after Reinhard Heydrich, one of the chief architects of the final solution, the operation sought to exterminate Jews living in occupied Poland. 3 camps became central to this plan: Belzec, Sobibor, and Treblinka. These were not just detention centers. They were not prisons. They were factories designed for death. Trains arrived carrying thousands of families, and many were separated. Victims were told that they were heading for showers. Instead, they entered gas chambers. Poison gas soon filled in enclosed spaces. Death often took 20 minutes. Children cried, parents panicked, people suffocated. Then came the Sonderbando, Jewish prisoners forced to remove bodies. Gold teeth were extracted, hairs were collected, bodies were cremated. Even aspect of murdered was organized. Every aspect was systematic. In total, more than 2 million Jews were murdered through Operation Reinhard. When standing before records, maps, and photographs, one question became unavoidable. How does a modern society turn murder into administration? How does evil become paperwork? One of the most disturbing sections of Yad Vashem focuses on Nazi medical experiments. The perpetrators were doctors, educated men, scientists, researchers, people expected to heal. Instead, they tortured. At Auschwitz and many such prisons became laboratory. Subjects were children who were injected with chemicals. Some had substances injected into their eyes, and there were attempts to color their eyes. Others underwent surgeries without anesthesia. Prisoners were submerged into freezing water. Others were placed inside low pressure chambers designed to simulate extreme altitudes. Many died in agony. The purpose was presented as scientific research, but it was cruelty disguised as science. The Holocaust forces humanity to confront its difficult truth. Knowledge without morality is dangerous. Science without ethics becomes terrifying. Education alone does not guarantee humanity. Of all the places inside Yad Vashem, None is more heartbreaking than the children's memorial. Nearly 1.5 million Jewish children were murdered during the Holocaust. 1.5 million. The number is almost impossible to comprehend. Inside the memorial, darkness surrounds visitors. A single candle is reflected through the mirror, creating the illusion of endless stars. The name begins to echo through the darkness. A child, an age, a country, another child, another age, another country. The list never ends. Standing there, statistics disappear. History becomes personal. The Holocaust is no longer 6 million. It becomes a 5-year-old boy, a 7-year-old girl, a 10-year-old child who never had the chance to grow up. It is impossible to leave unchanged. Then comes the Hall of Names, perhaps the most powerful space inside Yad Vashem. Photographs cover the walls. Faces look down upon visitors. Millions of pages preserve identities. The Nazis attempted to erase people completely. Yad Vashem fights back. Name by name, story by story, photograph by photograph. As I stood there, I thought about something simple. Every civilization depends on memory. If names disappear, stories disappear. If stories disappear, identities disappear. The Hall of Names is not merely an archive. It is an act of resistance against forgetting. Yet, Yad Vashem does not end with death. It ends with resilience. After 1945, survivors emerged from camps with nothing. No homes, no families, no possessions. Many lived in displaced person camps. Many had nowhere to go, yet they refused to surrender. Thousands boarded ships heading towards the then Palestine. One vessel became famous worldwide, the Exodus 1947, carrying more than 4,500 Holocaust survivors. British authorities intercepted the ship and forced it back. The images shocked the world. Public opinions shifted and supports for Jewish homeland grew stronger. And in 1948, the state of Israel was born. For many survivors, it represented something unprecedented, a place where Jews would no longer depend upon protection to others. The story did not end there. Jewish communities began returning home from around the world. Operation Magic Carpet brought nearly 49,000 Yemenite Jews. Many had never seen an aeroplane before. Operation Ezra and Nehemiah airlifted around 120,000 Iraqi Jews. Operation Moses and Operation Solomon rescued Ethiopian Jews. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, more than 1 million Jews immigrated to Israel. Among them were scientists, musicians, engineers, academicians. Thousands have made Aliyah and settled back to Israel now. For a people scattered across continents for centuries, these returns represented more than migration. They represented homecoming. Throughout my visit to Israel, one date appeared everywhere, October 7, 2023. In conversations, in memories, in homes, in schools. For Israelis, October 7 was not simply another terrorist attack. It was a national trauma because it touched a fear deeply rooted in Jewish history. The fear that hatred never fully disappears. The fear that vigilance can never completely end. For decades, Holocaust survivors warned future generations, never assume evil is gone. Never assume history cannot repeat itself. Then came October 7. For many Israelis, it felt as if the warnings of the past had suddenly become relevant again. Not because the Holocaust and October 7 were identical, they were not, but because they triggered the same Holocaust memory. This triggered the same historical memory, the same fear, the same determination, the same belief that survival can never be taken for granted. When I entered Yad Vashem, I thought I was visiting a museum. When I left, I realized I had visited a warning about hatred, a warning about indifference, a warning about forgetting. Israel preserves its history with extraordinary commitment, not because it wants to remain trapped in past, but because it understands the consequences of forgetting. As Indians, we understand this instinct. We remember Shivaji Maharaj because courage matters. We remember Guru Gobind Singh because sacrifice matters. We remember our civilizational struggles because memory matters. The Jewish people have done the same. Across centuries, across continents, across persecution, across genocide, and perhaps that is the ultimate lesson of Yad Vashem. A civilization survives not only through military strength, not only through borders, not only through governments. A civilization survives because it remembers who it is. And Israel has made a choice to remember, to teach, and to preserve, and never ever forget.